Here we go with 92. Video I see, which will take the infinitive, igator therefore than, causes esse multas. There are very many causes or reasons, quae which would have impellerentud istum. He's called the istum, the accused, who he's talking to, that would have impelled or driven him. Vidimus, the subjunctive, let us see or we shall see now, eque, the ex emphatic, it can be emotional. Is there any facultas or any opportunity or means for it, which he had, of suscipiendi malefici? Suscipiendi is meaning of undertaking this or doing it, and again the male is bad and ficio is doing something. So we'll see now, did he have any means or opportunity of taking up such evil actions? Ubi occasius est Sextus Roscius. So where was Sextus Roscius? Where was he killed? Rome, locative. He was at Rome. Quid, what, well, or why, something like that. It's a question. You, T. Roscius, the vocative. Ubi tunc eres. Where were you at then, at that time? At Roma. He was at Rome. So Cicero's turning the tide on him, taking away the blame from his own client. Verum quid ad rem. So as far as this matter goes, how does this truth have had something to do with it, you might want to say? He's speaking here metaphorically or rhetorically. He's not actually giving time for the guy Titus Roscius to answer. He's just rambling and trying to clear his own client. And so he's answered his rhetorical question. Et ali multe, and many other people were at Rome, quasi as if. Nunc now, this agator, which has been conducted or done now, quis ex tanta multitude, as if he had been killed by so many a multitude, ac non, and not this is being inquired about, querented, that him who Rome, at Rome, sit Occasius, who was killed at Rome, utrum, whether it is very similar, likely to be the truth, or similar to the truth, that he was killed by him who was assiduously or continuously, ea tempore, at that time, Rome furit. So he's not saying, was it anyone who was out of that multitude could have done it, but it's more often that the person who was at Rome at that time, as according to this lawsuits going on, and or whether eo him who for multus annos, many years, omnino, altogether, had not approached or gone to Romam in the accusative. Because it's more likely that of the two people in this court, the one who was constantly at Rome at that time, or the one who hadn't been there for many years, was he behind this murder. And in the last few chapters we've seen how Cicero's client's in poverty because of this murder, where the other guy's got all the guy's property. So it's a likely situation. 93. Age nunc. Come now. Ceteris. The rest or the remaining faculties, the opportunities, quoque also, let us consideramus. So let's think about now these other many things going on. Erat, there was, tum, then, a multitudo, that's a multitude in English, of sicoriums, of assassins, id quod commoravit Erucius. So Erucius has mentioned this or commemorated this earlier. And homines with impunity were occidiebantur. So men were killed by these assassins without punishment. That's literally what impunity means, without punishment. Quid, what? Ea multitude, quae erat. So who was in this multitude is the follow-up question. Opinor, I think, or some action that is going on in his mind, he supposes maybe, ought either eorum qui in bonus erant occupato. So those who were occupied in the goods, in English we use the same thing. Bonus is the words for goods, property, other things you own are called goods. Or eorum of those qui who, from these people who were occupied in buying goods, were conjugabantur. This means they were hired with the purpose in ut that they should aliquem occidere, that they should kill someone. So the people who are buying up all these goods, they would hire some of these assassins to kill a certain person, and they'd hire them or pay them to kill a person, and then they'd seize the property. And you had a difference between the sectors, who are brokers, and you have octiers, which is auctions as well, I think, going on. CEOs. If these people in the accusative, put as if you think these people who are petabant aliens who are seeking the goods of others, what's another person is an alien, then two as you are in this number, who you are enriched, dives esse, by nostro pecunia, by our money, or his client's money. So, what Cicero is saying, those who seek money, you are in this number, you're in that company of people who seeks others' goods. You have been enriched by my client's money. Sin, so it's like if with the N there as of a question. So even if you think those who are appellant, they call by a levior nomen, by a lighter name than just an outright assassin. They're called percussors. They strike people. In translations, they've taken up this lighter version of assassin and called it bandits, etc. They are vocant. They call them percussors. So, quere, it's a searching word. So they seek out in cuis fides, in whose protection or trust are they, and their clientela. There's a relations between owners and free men, etc., who are their clients. So, mihi crede, believe me, he's saying, aliquem de societe tua reperis. So you'll find someone from your own alliances or your own gang. You will find are these people doing the killings. He's just coming out and saying it. Et quid quicquid. In anything to you, Dixeris, you shall say contra, against this with defensio nostra, cum takes the ablative. So if you contendito, this is like a competition, if you contended, if you challenge what you are saying, anything you're saying, with nostra, with our defence, with Cicero's defence, thus facilimi most easily the causa sextus Rosci, you will conferita, that means to compare that your case with the case of, or the defence of Sextus Roscius. I think things are going pretty well for Cicero at this point. 94. Deces, you will say, what afterwards, we have something before the afterwards, if fui assiduous at Rome, if I was constantly at Rome, what happened afterwards? And respondabo, I will say, at ego omnino non fui, I was not there at all, basically is what that bit says. It's just going back and forwards here. Fatio, I confess, just taking the infinitive, that I'm a sector, I'm a broker, I'm someone who gets lots of land, etc., and sells it off and possesses it. But at ali multi, many others are as well. At ego, but I, as you argue, it's just an emphatic, it's a strengthen, it's nothing to do with protection, it's just the pronoun, tu and te. As you argue, I'm just a agricola and a rusticus, I'm just some farmer and a country person. Non-continuo, I just hold what continuo means, but from this point, continuing on from that point, you want to say, see me in gregem siciarum contuli. So if I contour myself, if I take myself away into some gregem, a flock or a group of assassins, continuing on from this, what would eventually come next, that would mean that sum sicaris, wouldn't mean that I'm an assassin just because I bear myself around with lots of assassins. And then in return to this, another quote, at ego, but I, perfecto, assuredly, who I know, novi, and we have ne quidem here, which means not even, quemquam, anyone of a sicarum, I don't know at all anyone who's an assassin, by far, longe, I'm absum, I'm away from all this type of incriminations and accusations, etc. So one person's arguing, Cicero's arguing, you might say this and I might say that. You might say, yeah, I hang around with assassins, but I'm not one. And then his own client would say, but I don't know any assassins at all. He's not at Rome, and he's far away from any of such crimes. Per multa sut, there are very many things, quae which they are able to be said. That's the passive dicky. So many things are able to be said. Quare, in which or therefore, he's a passive. It's understood that the summum to you faculty, that to you there's this utmost opportunity or faculty or a means, fuisi of, here's the gerund again, of taking up a maleficence, which is this evil deed or crime, quae which not only, non modo, for this reason, he's going to give a reason, I shall praetertero, I shall pass by, in that, it's a verb of thinking, so quad's going to be that, T ipsum non labenta accusa. So I'll not freely accuse you yourself. Verum. Yeah, magus etiam quad. So that all the more, even this, that if concerning these, the illis caedibus, I should want to velum commemorate. I should want to reiterate or go over all these slaughters. But he's thinking. He doesn't want to accuse him because it looks like these things factor something which are done is by the same reasoning or the same methods in which Sextus Roscius was killed. Very or nay is are inverted for a verb of fearing. I fear that ad plurus oratio meus, it would seem that my oration is pertaining to more people than just the guy who murdered Sextus Roscius. So it's just a long way of saying there's many things which you're able to say about your opportunity of taking up these evil things, but I want to pass by these for the reason that I can't just freely accuse you, all the more because it looks like all these slaughters and murders by which Sextus Roscius was killed, you would have to bring in many more people, plurus, you'd have to bring in many more people to accuse of those murders. 95. Vidimus. Let us now see. Here's nunc, that means now. Strictim, briefly, it's in the Tim family of adverbs. Sicut, etc. Just as to the rest of things, quae post mortem Sextus Roscius, which after the death of Sextus Roscius, abs te Rosci, were facta sunt, they were done by you, Titus Roscius. So he's just moved past other murders, etc. He's now just wants to dissect some other things which happened after the death of Sextus Roscius, which were done by the person doing the accusing here. Quae, which things ita thus are aperta, are open and manifesta sunt. Yeah, we have manifesta in English. So it's open and manifest. Ut medius fidus is an interjection to the gods. He's calling them the gods' help or witness. Eudices again, that's vocative. So he's saying, gentlemen of the jury, these deeds done by Titus Roscius, which they're open and manifest, and with the gods witnessing, he's invitus to decam. He's unwilling to, I'm unwilling to say these things. Verior enim. For I feel, as Kiwikimoto, whatever type of man you are, vocative, Titus Roscius, here's the nay from the verior, I fear that, video, I shall seem, ita thus, to want to servare, to protect Hunk, his own client, and that altogether I'm not going to spare you, non pepper curim, that's first person again, that I shall not spare you. So he's fearing again, whatever type of man Roscius is, that he doesn't want to just seem to be saving or preserving his own man, but he doesn't want to altogether seem, that's what the video is, he doesn't want to seem that he's altogether not sparing. We've got a lot of negative sort of things going on in that sense. Cum, like a when or while or since this, verio, I fear, et cupio, and desire for you, aliqua ex parte quod salva fide. So from some part, I want to keep you safe in protection a little bit. Possim, I'm able to spare you. That's why it's taking the dative. Parcere takes the dative. So he's fearing, and he has a little bit of a desire for some part to spare him. But aggrossus, again, now, immuto, I'm changing my voluntatem, I'm changing my mind or my will. For venet to me, for it comes to me into mentem, into my mind, oris tuus, your face. Now, this is effrontery, it's translated as. Uh, it's like when you say someone's saving face, or how bold they are. So it's not literally just the looks on his face, but the way he presents himself. Nearly done. 10a. Looks like a question. Do you, cum caterai socia, when the rest of your allies, your sociis, have fugarented, they've fled, and axea culturant, and they've basically hidden themselves, ut hoc judicium, so not in the courtrooms, non de illorum preda, not their own booty, concerning their own booty, but de huis maleficio feri viderent, that it would seem to be the maleficence or the crime was done by huis, of this other fellow. Most preferably it is to you, partissimum to you, to your part, is that you demand that you versare. So he's here in the courtroom, living in the courtroom or spending his time there, and he's sederes, he's sitting with the guy he's accusing. So basically Cicero's saying how bold this guy is. All these allies have fled and they're trying to hide themselves, and concerning the booty, which is these estates and I think several farms he's taken, he wants to be seen that Cicero's client's the one who's done the crime, and he's taking a part in this himself and demanding that, he's actually taking part in the proceedings, sitting with the accusator. So just saying how bold he is, really. Qua in re's female, so which in this matter, nihil other, nothing other, you're accomplishing, nisi except ut that, by omnibus mortals, by all the mortals, your audacia, your boldness, and impudentia, your impudence, is cognoscatur, is understood. So Cicero's digging the screws into him. We'll finish with the Daily Dictionary of Adsequerus. It's an alternative spelling. You've gained nothing, obtained, procured, or achieved nothing, is what it means here. Not to follow, which is the most basic, broad version of it. Adsequor comes from, we had assequor, which gets changed to ad in most dictionaries. And that's it for the day.